I don't know who needs to hear this right now, but listen. Someone out there is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Someone out there is holding back tears, pretending they're okay, and still smiling because they don't want anyone to worry about them. And maybe, just maybe, you'll be the person they meet today who makes them feel like they're not invisible. I remember one day last winter, I was walking through the city on my way home from work. It was one of those bitterly cold evenings, the kind that stings your face and makes you want to hurry inside as fast as possible. My mind was heavy with my own problems, bills piling up, a relationship that had just ended, a job that was draining me. Honestly, I felt empty, and then I saw him. He was sitting on the curb just outside a small cafe, his coat too thin for the freezing weather. His hands were shaking as he held a cardboard sign that simply said, "Just hungry." Not "please help," not "God bless." Just those two words, "just hungry." I don't know why, but those words hit me harder than anything else. Maybe because I'd felt that way too. Hungry, not just for food, but for love, for kindness, for someone to notice that I was still here. People were walking past him, glancing, looking away quickly, like if they didn't make eye contact, he wouldn't exist. And I almost did the same. My feet even kept walking a few more steps before I stopped. Something inside me wouldn't let me leave him there. So I turned around. I walked into the cafe, bought 2 hot coffees and 2 sandwiches, and sat down next to him on the curb. He looked surprised, almost confused, like he couldn't understand why I was sitting there with him. I handed him the coffee first. "It's freezing," I said. "You need this." The way his face softened when his fingers wrapped around that warm cup. I can't explain it. He took a sip, then looked at me and whispered, "No one ever stops." I don't know what broke my heart more, the fact that he was out there in the cold, or the fact that he'd gotten used to being ignored. We sat there for maybe 10 minutes, just talking. He told me his name was David. He'd lost his job a few months ago, then his apartment. He hadn't spoken to his family in years. He wasn't asking for pity, just telling his story like he needed to remind himself he was still a person. When I left, he thanked me like I'd just given him the world. But I swear, I was the one who felt changed. Asterisk the next few days. I couldn't stop thinking about David. I kept wondering what would have happened if I hadn't stopped. Would he still be sitting there? Would anyone else have cared enough to notice him? And that's when I realized I almost didn't. I almost kept walking. That thought haunted me because it made me ask myself how many other Davids I had walked past before. People in pain, people hiding it so well you'd never know unless you really looked. So I made myself a quiet promise. I wouldn't ignore people anymore. The next time I was on the bus, I noticed a teenager sitting a few rows ahead of me, head buried in their hoodie. They looked like they hadn't slept, like the whole weight of the world was sitting on their shoulders. Normally, I would have looked at my phone, minded my business. But this time, I didn't. When they got off at the same stop as me, I caught up and said, "Hey, I don't know what you're going through, but I hope it gets better." They didn't say much, just looked shocked for a second, then nodded. But I saw something change in their eyes. I started doing this more and more, smiling at strangers, asking cashiers how their day was and really listening, calling friends I hadn't talked to in months just to check in. I wasn't doing it for recognition. I was doing it because I remembered how it felt to be seen that day with David, and I wanted to give that feeling to someone else. One day, I got a text from a friend I hadn't spoken to in a while. She wrote, Thank you for calling me last week. You had no idea how much I needed to hear from someone that day. That's when it really hit me. We never know the weight people are carrying. We never know when the smallest act of kindness might be the thing that keeps someone from giving up. And yes, it's true. I still have my own bad days. Days where I feel tired, lost, disconnected. But on those days, I remind myself of one thing. Even when you're hurting, you still have the power to help someone else heal. Looking back now, I realize that David, that stranger on the curb, gave me more than I gave him. He reminded me of the power we all have to change someone's day, maybe even their life, with something as simple as stopping, noticing, and caring. So, I want to remind you of this today. Someone out there needs your kindness. Someone out there needs you to look up from your phone, from your busy day, from your own struggles, and just see them. It doesn't have to be big. You don't need to save the world. Just smile at the person who looks like they're having a hard time. Ask your coworker how they're really doing. Text that friend you've been meaning to check on. Buy someone a coffee. Sit with the person who's sitting alone. These little moments might seem small to you, but they can be everything to someone else. And here's the secret. When you start giving kindness like this, you begin to feel lighter too. Because kindness isn't just something we give away. It's something that comes back to us, often in ways we never expect. So today, don't wait for someone else to be the one who cares. Be that person yourself. Be the reason someone feels seen, heard, and valued. Because someone out there needs your kindness today. And maybe, just maybe, you're the only one who can give it to them.